My name is Daphne Holloway. I'm 28 years old, and the night everything finally broke apart started with my boyfriend casually lying to my face while standing in our kitchen barefoot, scrolling through his phone like I barely existed. "Studying late again?" I asked. Caleb didn't even look up. "Yeah, Vanessa booked one of the private rooms near campus." Third time that week. Rain tapped softly against the apartment windows while the microwave clock blinked 11:14 p.m. Funny how your brain remembers tiny details when betrayal finally arrives. "With Vanessa again?" I asked carefully. He sighed immediately. "Daphne, please don't start. I'm asking a question." And I answered it. He grabbed his backpack from the couch. Same backpack I'd bought him after he complained his old one looked cheap next to his classmates. "Every night, though?" I asked. "You can't study here?" He laughed quietly. "There it is, the jealous girlfriend routine." My stomach tightened. "I'm not jealous." "Sure." He finally looked at me, irritation already waiting on his face. Caleb had mastered that expression lately, the one that made me feel irrational before I'd even finished speaking. "Vanessa and I are studying for finals. That's it." "Then why haven't I met her?" His jaw tightened instantly. "Because you make everything weird." That one hurt more than I expected. 2 years together, 6 months living together. I covered most of the rent while he finished law school because we were supposedly building a future together. But somehow asking about the woman he spent nights with until 2 in the morning made me insecure. "I'm not trying to fight," I said quietly. "Could have fooled me." He zipped the backpack aggressively. I watched him move around the apartment, surrounded by things I had paid for. The sneakers near the door, the coffee maker humming softly behind him, the groceries stacked in the fridge. The resentment didn't hit all at once. It filled slowly, quietly, like water rising somewhere you couldn't see yet. "You don't trust me," Caleb said finally. There it was. Not reassurance, not comfort, an accusation. I stared at him for a long moment before nodding slowly. "You're right." He blinked. "What?" "You're right." The tension disappeared from his shoulders almost instantly, like he'd won something. "Good," he muttered, "because I'm tired of this conversation." "So am I." He stepped forward and kissed my cheek absent-mindedly, already halfway out the door emotionally. "I'll text you later." "Sure." The door closed behind him. I listened to his footsteps disappear down the hallway. Then I picked up my phone and made the call. My friend Nolan worked administrative support at Caleb's law school. Smart guy, organized, the kind of person who remembered everybody's schedule. "Nolan," I said when he answered, "random question. Is there a Vanessa Reed in Caleb's section?" Silence. "Vanessa Reed?" he repeated. "Yeah, they study together." More silence, then keyboard clicking. "Nope," he finally said slowly. "There's a Vanessa Reed in the law program, but she's not in Caleb's section." Something cold slid through my chest. "You sure?" "Positive. She's section D. Caleb's in section B." I closed my eyes. Different schedules, different classes, different everything. "You okay?" Nolan asked carefully. "Perfect," I lied. After we hung up, I logged into our phone account. Technically his phone bill too. Technically paid by me. One number dominated everything. Calls after midnight. Endless texts. Hours of contact. I copied the number into a search engine. Vanessa Reed. Not a stressed law student drowning in finals. A marketing coordinator at a tech startup downtown. Graduated 3 years ago. I stared at the screen for nearly a full minute before laughing once. Sharp, empty, painful. He hadn't even bothered creating a believable lie. The next morning, Caleb wandered into the kitchen, pretending to be exhausted from studying. I made him coffee anyway. That's the part that disturbed me later. How calm I became. "How's exam prep?" I asked. He groaned dramatically. "Brutal." "I'm sure." He smiled at me like nothing was wrong. That smile nearly destroyed us both. Wednesday night, he announced he was studying again. "Don't wait up," he said while grabbing his keys. "Have fun," I replied softly. He paused for half a second, maybe noticing something different in my tone, but then he shrugged and left. The second the elevator doors closed downstairs, I got to work. First came the apartment. The lease was entirely under my name. Caleb had moved in without being added because it was supposedly easier. I photographed everything I owned: television, couch, kitchen appliances, furniture. Most of it either predated him or had been purchased with my money after he moved in. Then I opened my spreadsheet. Caleb had been struggling financially throughout law school. Guess who covered almost everything? Rent, utilities, groceries, gym membership, study materials, car insurance one month when he fell behind. I tracked expenses obsessively because accounting was literally my job. Total after 6 months, nearly $14,000. Thursday night, he never came home. At 2:57 a.m., my phone buzzed. Fell asleep studying, crashing at Eleanor's. "Love you." Eleanor was his older sister. I stared at the message for a few seconds before texting her directly. "Hey, is Caleb okay? He said he stayed at your place." Her response came almost immediately. "What? I haven't seen Caleb this week. Everything okay?" I screenshotted the conversation without replying. Friday morning, Caleb came home to shower and change clothes. "Sorry about last night," he said casually. "Study group got intense." "No worries," I replied. "How's prep going?" "Stressful. Vanessa thinks I need extra help this weekend." "All weekend?" He frowned immediately. "Don't start." "I'm not," I said calmly. "Actually, I'm going away with friends for the weekend." His face brightened so fast it almost embarrassed me. "Oh, perfect," he said. "You can relax and I can really focus." Exactly what I was thinking. But I wasn't leaving town. I was leaving him. Saturday morning, while Caleb was supposedly studying, I packed methodically. Not emotionally, not dramatically, methodically. Clothes, electronics, personal items. I hired movers for the furniture that belonged to me. I left his clothes, his law books, his cheap desk fan, his protein powder, everything he had actually paid for himself, which honestly wasn't much. Before I walked out for the last time, I placed one final thing on the kitchen counter. A printed spreadsheet showing every expense I had covered for him over 6 months, the total highlighted in yellow. Beside it sat a handwritten note. "Caleb, your last insecure girlfriend has officially moved out. Apartments paid through the end of the month. After that, you're on your own. Maybe Vanessa can help now, since she clearly has so much free time. Good luck on your exam, if studying is actually what you've been doing. Also, Eleanor says hi." Then I locked the door behind me and never looked back. Sunday evening, my phone exploded. At first it was confusion, then panic, then rage. "Daphne, where are you? Why is the apartment half empty? What the hell is this spreadsheet? Answer me right now, this isn't funny." I sat cross-legged on the floor of my new apartment, eating takeout noodles, while the messages poured in, one after another. The place still smelled like fresh paint and cardboard boxes. Quiet. Peaceful. Mine. Then came the voicemail. Daphne, seriously, call me back, Caleb snapped. You can't just disappear because you're in one of your moods. One of my moods. I almost laughed. 10 minutes later, another voicemail arrived. This one shakier. Okay, look, we need to talk. You're overreacting. Whatever you think is happening isn't what it looks like. Interesting sentence for an innocent man. I muted my phone and went to sleep. Monday morning, I woke up before sunrise, made coffee with my own coffee maker, and stood barefoot near the windows watching traffic crawl through downtown. For the first time in months, my chest didn't feel tight. Then my phone buzzed again. You stole from me. I'm serious, Daphne. I'll call the police. I finally responded with one sentence. You can report me for taking my own belongings from my own apartment. Then I blocked his number. That didn't stop him. By noon, he started calling from unknown numbers. By evening, he moved to email. Somewhere around midnight, he switched tactics completely. I miss you. Please just talk to me. I made mistakes. Mistakes. Like forgetting milk at the grocery store. Not lying to my face for months while using me to finance his entire life. Tuesday afternoon, his older sister Eleanor called me. I almost ignored it, but curiosity won. Daphne? She asked carefully the second I answered. Hey, Eleanor. What's going on? Caleb's losing his mind. I leaned back against my office chair slowly. Ask him about Vanessa. Silence. His study partner? She asked weakly. She's not in his section. She graduated 3 years ago. Another silence, heavier this time. Oh, Eleanor whispered. Yeah. He told us you were paranoid, she admitted quietly. That you were becoming controlling. I asked to meet her once. I could practically hear her processing everything in real time. I'm sorry, she finally said. I didn't know. Neither did I. Not fully. Not until I stopped listening to his explanations and started paying attention to his behavior. Wednesday morning, security from my office building called upstairs. Miss Holloway, the receptionist said nervously. There's a man down here demanding to see you. I already knew. What's his name? Caleb Mercer. Of course. I walked toward the lobby windows carefully and looked down from the second floor. Caleb stood near the front desk, wearing the navy sweater I bought him last Christmas. His hair looked messy, eyes shadowed from lack of sleep. For one dangerous second, guilt flickered through me. Then he started yelling at the receptionist, and the feeling disappeared instantly. She's ignoring me, he snapped loudly. This is ridiculous. I just need 5 minutes. The receptionist looked exhausted already. I picked up the office phone calmly. You can ask security to escort him out, I said. Downstairs, Caleb froze. He had heard my voice through the lobby speaker. His head snapped upward immediately, searching the windows until he spotted me standing there. Daphne! He shouted. The entire lobby turned. I didn't wave. I didn't smile. I simply walked away while security moved toward him. Later that night, my email filled with paragraphs from him, ranging from angry to pathetic. You embarrassed me. After everything I've done for you, you're acting insane. Vanessa isn't what you think. Nothing happened. Okay, fine, something happened, but it wasn't serious. I was going to tell you eventually. That one actually hurt. Eventually. Meaning after law school. After exams. After he finished using me for stability. Thursday morning, another message arrived, this time from his best friend, Marcus. Hey, I think I owe you an apology. We met for coffee after work. Marcus looked deeply uncomfortable the second I sat down. I didn't know Caleb was lying this badly, he admitted immediately. He told everyone you two were basically over. I stared at him quietly. He said you stayed together because it was financially practical, Marcus continued carefully. Like roommates who hadn't officially broken up yet. Financially practical, I repeated softly, meaning me paying his rent, his groceries, his utilities, his entire existence. Marcus rubbed the back of his neck awkwardly. For what it's worth, I told him he was being stupid. But not immoral? He flinched. Fair enough. By Friday, the legal threats started. Apparently, Caleb convinced one of his law school friends to draft a dramatic email accusing me of unlawful eviction and theft of shared property. I forwarded the entire thing to my cousin Natalie, an attorney. She called me, laughing. Daphne, this is adorable. Adorable? He's not on the lease. The property wasn't jointly owned, and you literally left him the apartment for another month. Papers shuffled loudly on her end. This reads less like legal action and more like a tantrum with citations. I smiled for the first time all day. Can you respond? Oh, absolutely. Natalie sent back a brutally professional reply, outlining every documented expense, lease detail, and ownership record connected to the apartment. The final paragraph stated that any further harassment would result in formal legal action. Caleb stopped threatening me after that. But the real collapse hadn't even started yet. Because Vanessa had a boyfriend too. I learned that Saturday night when a message request appeared on Instagram from a man named Daniel Reed. We need to talk about Caleb and Vanessa. Turns out Daniel worked night shifts as a nurse, which explained why Caleb and Vanessa always met late at night. According to Daniel, he had suspected something for weeks but didn't have proof until Vanessa accidentally left her smartwatch synced to their apartment tablet. The screenshots he sent made my stomach turn. Miss you already. Wish she'd stop being suspicious. Soon things will calm down. There were dozens of messages like that. Dozens. Then came the security footage from their apartment building. Vanessa and Caleb entering together after midnight, leaving together in the mornings. Overnight bags. No textbooks, no studying. Just lies. The worst part? Vanessa dumped Caleb almost immediately after everything exploded publicly. According to Daniel, she panicked when classmates from Caleb's law school started hearing rumors about the study sessions. Suddenly, Caleb became inconvenient instead of exciting. Karma moves fast when selfish people turn on each other. And then came the final blow. Remember that major exam Caleb had been studying for nonstop? He failed it. Spectacularly. One of his professors recognized my name from a school fundraiser Caleb once dragged me to. She emailed me privately after hearing about the breakup. I probably shouldn't say this, but Caleb missed several mandatory review sessions before the exam. His grade was among the lowest in the class. I stared at the email for a long time. All those nights pretending to study. All those accusations calling me jealous and insecure. And he wasn't even passing. 3 months later, everything looked different. My new apartment finally felt like home, instead of a temporary escape route. The silence that once felt strange now felt peaceful. I stopped checking my phone constantly, stopped wondering where Caleb was, stopped replaying old conversations in my head, searching for the exact moment respect disappeared between us. Without his expenses draining my account every month, I finally started investing in myself again. Savings, travel plans, a future that actually belonged to me. I even started seeing someone new, slowly, carefully. His name was Adrian. No games, no secret study partners, no eye rolls every time I asked a reasonable question. Meanwhile, Caleb's life completely unraveled. After failing multiple classes, he had to delay graduation for at least another semester. Vanessa disappeared the second the scandal became embarrassing for her. Last I heard, Caleb moved back in with his parents because he couldn't afford the apartment alone. Apparently, his father started monitoring his spending after discovering how much I had financially supported him. The irony almost made me laugh. The man who called me controlling now had a curfew again. A mutual friend showed me one of Caleb's recent social media posts about women abandoning men during difficult seasons. The comments destroyed him. Bro, she paid your bills. You cheated on her. Maybe focus on passing ethics before giving life advice. He deleted the post within an hour. The strangest moment happened last week at a grocery store. I turned down an aisle and suddenly there he was, standing beside the frozen food section, looking thinner, older somehow. For a second, he just stared at me. "Daphne," he said quietly. I nodded once. "Caleb." His eyes moved over me carefully, maybe noticing how calm I looked now, how light. "I was stupid," he admitted finally. Maybe he expected anger, maybe tears, maybe one last emotional conversation. Instead, I just smiled politely. "Yes," I said, "you were." Then I walked away. Looking back now, the signs had always been there. The gaslighting, the entitlement, the constant need to make me feel irrational anytime I got close to the truth. Caleb genuinely believed he could use me for stability while chasing excitement somewhere else. But the funniest part? That huge exam he failed while pretending to study with Vanessa? Professional ethics. You really can't make this stuff up.